Fashion with Purpose and Impact. I'm Jeannie Barsom, and I'm the founder and CEO of Gifting Brands. And this is a brand new show where we're going to be able to share stories about brands and nonprofits who are making a difference in the world and how you can too. I'm Jeannie, and as I said, I started Gifting Brands about 2 years ago, and we work with brands to donate inventory so that we can raise money for amazing charities and nonprofits like Boundless Foundation. And my special guest today is Shannon Rizzo, the founder of Boundless Foundation. Hey, Shannon, welcome to our show. Well, it looks like Shannon is not there yet. This is how live stream goes. This is our very first live stream. So let me check my phone and see where she is. Shannon, where are you? She says I need to let her in. Okay, let's figure out how to do that. Here we go. There we go. I'm so sorry. This is the first time
I'm here. So beautiful of an introduction. Thank you, Jeannie. I heard every word. I was just backstage waiting to come on. So thank you so much for having me. And I'm super excited to be here with you of Gifting Brands and all of our viewers today.
I'm thrilled to have you. You're doing such amazing work. And I would love, first of all, I know we're just getting started and people are joining. So if you're just joining, welcome to the Gifting Brands live show. Fashion with, we're all about fashion with purpose and impact. And please, as an audience, feel free to share your comments, ask questions, share the show with your friends. We are doing this show and we have people coming in from LinkedIn, through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram. So we're really thrilled that you're all here. And please ask questions and, give us things that you like in the chat. We're happy to chat with you as well. But first, I would love to dive into why you started Boundless and what's been going on since you started it and what kind of impact have you been able to make?
Wow, it's such an incredible question and I really appreciate it so much. I started Boundless because I saw a really big gap between what education was in a lot of the developing countries that I was traveling in and where we are in the United States. And it wasn't about education being a luxury. It's really a necessity for everyone. And for when I started to travel on vacation in some of these developing countries, I noticed that there were children that were running around in the streets on school days and they weren't in school. And so I started to inquire about why are they out on the street? Why aren't they in school? And the answer was often, well, they don't have the shoes or the uniform to be able to go to school. And I really couldn't believe that that would keep a child from being able to get an education, is that they didn't have the money to pay for a uniform. And so I kind of got together with a few of my friends and raised money for 28 children to go to school in just a couple of weeks. And it was about $32 per student to go to school for an entire year at that time. And this was in Honduras when I first started. And so I thought, gosh, if we can make that kind of impact and we didn't even really try that hard, what could we possibly do if we all joined together on the same mission to really make a difference? And so we started gradually kind of adding to those funds. We talked to our friends and friends of friends, and then the word just spread. And we ended up being able to provide meals for the children who weren't in school. And so kind of the sidewalk, lunch table is what was started from that. A little bit of, I think we fed 32 children our first year that weren't able to go to school because of other reasons. And a lot of it had to do with extreme poverty. And the parent, usually just the mom, would be able to afford to put one child into school, but not the 5 that she had. So you would see one child in school and not the other 4, and they would be out in the streets. And so it just touched our hearts so much that I decided to start a foundation to be able to kind of raise awareness and raise more money for that. The first, when I first started it a couple years ago, it was called Global Girl Life Foundation. And that kind of just spiraled, and we were able to raise more and more money. And then COVID hit and school was out. That was it. No tourism in these places that desperately need tourism to survive. There was no tourism at all. Everything was shut down, including school. And so God put it on my heart that I was supposed to build schools that we could actually open. And that's kind of the beginning of the story. I'll stop there in case there's any questions, or I see a lot of people that are chiming in. We've got friends from all over that are just coming in to join us and engage.
I love your story, and what's so amazing that it doesn't take that much money to actually help one child. I know you and I have talked, it's, just under $100 actually supplies everything that they need to go to school for one whole year. And it's just amazing. So the reason that we're on this live today is that we've launched an auction, and it's a charity auction. It's the first time that Gifting Brands is doing it. And the way that it works is, I believe maybe that donate QR code, hopefully that's going to take you to the auction. But if not, it is in the show notes, whether you're on if you're on LinkedIn, it's in there as well. It's through a Boundless Foundation auction. And we have amazing products that have been donated by brands like Baccarat. I mean, Baccarat was amazing. They donated over $1 million to us, and have been fueling a lot of the donations that we've been able to do. We've got Baccarat. We've had organizations like Tori Richard. We've had Signet Corporation with Rocksbox and Sterling Jewelers. I could go on and on. Cabana Life, Talbot's, Loft. So many brands have really wanted to make a difference. And in some cases, they had excess inventory and new inventory. And so they've been able to donate it to us. And now we're able to do auctions. So this is something that we're just starting, and we're going to continue to do auctions. And if we're going to show you some of those items, but you're welcome while you're on this call to go look at some of those items. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer it. This is going to be interactive. And I see that this is the first time we've been on Restream, so this is new for us. So thank you for, I see Shawnee and Sam and Kim, and actually I see Shawnee, you're on there twice. Thank you for being on the show. I saw that someone just clicked the QR code. Did it take you to the auction? That's what it's supposed to do. And if it did, say yes or no.
Beautiful. I saw that too.
Yeah,
I saw two swipes.
So I'm curious to see if that actually worked. And if not, we'll continue to figure out this. Restream's amazing. It's supposed to be able to link to lots of different platforms. So we're in, this is our real test for the first time.
We're on.
Oh, I see YouTube. Somebody just scanned it, but I'm not seeing any comments. So would love for someone to comment and let me know if that worked. No, it did not work. Okay. I am going to put that. Well, Shannon, why don't you expound a little bit on why you named this Boundless, while I go in and find the QR code, or find the link for everyone, and I'll put it in the chat.
Absolutely. So the reason that I named Boundless Foundation was exactly where I left off in the story, talking about Global Girl Life Foundation. We started that to actually uniform children, to be able to let them go to school in a safe environment where they would receive a meal every day. And as we started to discover the needs were much greater than just what we thought it was. And so because of one of our values, we go into places to help, but not to ever push our mission on to the people that are there. And so as we inquired and we really started talking to the moms and the teachers and the people that were in the community, we really found out that it was the governments really wanted to help, but they were not as active, we'll say, in the participation of making sure every child had an education. And so we understood that we had to make a lot of changes, even helping the moms to have jobs so they could then in turn pay for their own children to go to school. And so we started an artisan program where we imported products that were made right there that the tourists weren't able to buy because they weren't there. We imported them and started a marketplace online, similar to kind of what we're doing now. It's full circle that we were selling jewelry and accessories. And so as it went on, we realized that we were going to be building schools. And I thought, Global Girl doesn't really explain what our mission is all about. That's more about this girl that set off in the world to make a difference. And it was more about me than it was about the communities and the organization. And so I thought, what is the biggest thing that I can think of? And to be boundless or limitless was the two things that popped up for me. And boundlessness, like you have to be so expansive and you have to be able to kind of frame the fact that anything is possible. And together, everything is possible. And so I named it Boundless Foundation because of that.
That's amazing. And I see Sabrina just came on and that it did not go to mobile. So I just posted the auction. Let me know if anyone was able to get in on the post that I just listed in the chat. And I'd love to know how the schools are doing now. How many schools have you been able to open? Tell us some statistics around the students, attendance, things like that, please.
Yeah, I would love to. That's the best part, right? These little children, the thing that is so beautiful, a lot of times, we see our own children, they don't want to go to school. They wake up and they're like, I don't want to go to school. When we go into these communities and we build a school there because the community has vowed with us to take care of the school, to make sure the children are fed, it's really a group effort. It's not just Boundless. We have partners involved. There are boots on the ground workers that build the school. And then we have the parents and the elders in the community. It's really beautiful to see the children are excited and they cannot wait. And they're waiting outside the door. If they're not even old enough to go to school, they're waiting outside and they can hear the studies that are going on. Their brothers and sisters are learning. And one of the most incredible things that we saw, Jeannie, there's so many incredible things, but we've just been profoundly astonished at the ingenuity that's gone on. One of the teachers started to lead an adult program for learning in the building that we built for the elementary school children. And the school itself started off as one grade because there was never a school in the village before. They didn't know that there were, separate grades. And so they took testing, and now there's 4 grades in 2 years. So there's first, second, third, and fourth grade. They've tested so beautifully. One of the children has given a national presentation on the news in Honduras. And the adults, there's 18 adults that are learning, and they're bringing their little babies with them to learn in the evening in that school. And that school doesn't even have electricity. So they're using, if they had a cell phone, using the light from that. They're just really so incredibly enthusiastic about the opportunity itself to be able to improve their families' lives. We've also seen a bilingual presentation where 2 girls in the school, one spoke English and the other one spoke Spanish. And this was within about a year of them being in school. And so it's just incredible that not only the students that are enthusiastic, but this is providing jobs. So the teachers are enthusiastic because there's a brand new school building for them to have. The children are not sitting on the floor in dirt. They're in desks that are individually theirs. The teacher has a desk. And it's an incredible thing for them to feel that individuality in the collective community, that they have something to look forward to, and they appreciate everything so much. That they're fed every day. The children are. So when they're energetic and they want to play and they want to dream. So just some really incredible stories like that. We've built to date. There are 2 schools being finished in the next 2 weeks, and so that'll be 10. Wow. And so in 2 years, we've built 10 schools, which most of them, some have about 20 to 40 students, but the ones we're building now are 3 classrooms with about 120 to 150 students. And so there's 3 to 4 teachers in each one of those schools. So now we're employing more teachers. We have more students, and they're coming from different villages, not just the village that we build in. So it's become a feeder school where different villages that had no opportunity are now, the children are not having to walk too far. They're actually being able to walk about 15 to 20 minutes from other villages to come to a safe place. And the journey itself is much safer as well.
That's amazing. So, you've talked about all of the different things that you're able to supply for them. And can you touch on clean water? Because I know in so many places having clean water takes kids away from school, because usually it's the children that then have to go fetch the water. Charity Water is one of the organizations that we also support, and that's the biggest deterrent from kids going to school. So what are you doing about clean water, and are you able to help with that as well?
It's a great question. We actually just started this. And so we're actually doing our first borehole for well water in Nepal. That project will be started probably in the next 3 weeks or so. And we are finishing up one that is going to hopefully be in Cameroon. The water was actually already being installed before we built a classroom there. And we want to have another project where we help the entire village comes to this area for the water, not just the children that are in the classrooms. So this is a brand new feat for us. Like as we went and we provided uniforms and we provided food and then we provided schools. Now we're hoping to bring safe water to all of the schools and the other communities. And then, as well continue with the food program and other curriculum to help them dream big.
That's amazing. So tell me a little bit about the grand openings when a school is built.
This is the most exciting thing. So Boundless has been able to attend almost every inauguration in Honduras. We've now built so many schools, we're not able to go to them all. And so we get videos from the community where they're videoing and writing banners out for thank yous. But this is such a huge celebration for the community. So every single community member is there. It's the municipalities come in, the partners who have helped build it, the donors can even come and be a part of this celebration. And so we have seen, like I said before, we've seen children reading presentations that couldn't read or write before they started. We have seen, and I think this is really important to tell everybody in the audience as well, is that when we come into these areas, there are obviously so many communities that we could never reach them all, and we'll do our very best to try with your help. But one of the things that we do is we really talk to the community members and make sure that they are really entrenched in the learning of the children and that they really want to make sure that they're coming to school. One of the boundaries, the barriers that we saw is that the parents didn't feel it was safe for them to go because the schools were not safe to actually be in. If you go to our website, you'll even be able to see some of the roofs were falling in. Our new partner does a lot in Africa, and so we've been doing some projects with them. But these children were actually huddled into the corner of a schoolroom where the metal was over the corner of the schoolroom and the whole roof was gone. So they were hunched up and they had, the square footage, but not the protection. And so when the wind would blow, the roof would come down and smack the ground, the dirt floor that was in there. So we were able to help. And I think that project was somewhere around 26,000. And we contributed a large part of that. So it doesn't have to be the entire thing that we're doing. We can partner with other organizations that we have set up. We're vetting the right communities, we're vetting the right partners, and all together with the right donors, we're bringing this big project together to be able to house the school for 120, 150 children every time we do this.
So I'm going to ask you a question. This isn't on our, just the questions that we've discussed. So why do you think there are so many areas out there that no one's helped? I mean, it's 2023 and you're finding all of these, places where kids are not able to go to school. Obviously, you've been doing this now for a while. Why is that?
Yeah, you're going to be amazed when I tell you this. So I was out on LinkedIn and I'm looking for sponsors for help. And I go to the heavy equipment and the automotive industry because they understand what it takes to be able to kind of build on land that is not suitable. So in many, many of the places that we build, the elevation is extreme. The way to get to this village, many people can't leave the village. And so that's why they're contained in that one area. But many people will not build there because it's way too expensive or it's not even reachable. I've been in the pickup truck, in the back of a pickup truck, and in the cab as well, on a journey where I thought we're probably gonna fall off the side of this mountain. Like, it's really extreme. And if it weren't for the big adventure and the safety of my partners that I know would not let me die, we totally have gone up there, and it takes them, even the contractors stay for the whole time because it's too dangerous for them to come back and forth with the equipment and everything else. So they stay for 6 weeks to 8 weeks until the projects are done. And then they come down and start the next project. So they're not going there because it's too expensive, too dangerous, and they're not even sure where the places are. our partners that are in these countries are the ones that are scouting, and they're the ones that we trust and rely on to help vet the community to make sure it's right. And the other part of making sure it's right is that it's going to impact many, many people. And it's not a small village of 20 that they cannot help. They're going to try to get those 20 to come in to the centralized area to where it can be just more students can come from all around and take part in that school.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell me, why is building schools so important to you? And really, what drove you to do this? I mean, this, obviously this is a labor of love. You're not being paid to do this. So I'd love to hear your story and your why.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really close to my heart. Growing up, I did not have a lot. And there were times we didn't have anything and much. And as my mom really, struggled and tried to get me into new, better schools to basically promote my own education, she knew that was the way out. She remarried my stepdad, who really believed in education and said, you're not going anywhere without it. And so every single year, actually less than a year, about every 9 months or so, they would move to a better neighborhood. And that meant a better school system. And so I was in 17 different schools before I graduated high school. So it was kind of traumatic, as a child growing up through that, but it also gave me the beautiful skill set of being able to talk to anyone that I meet and being able to make friends right away. But what I found is that I felt so completely safe and I felt so loved when I was in school that there wasn't anything I didn't think I could do. And so it was consistent. It was, even though I was moving from one school to another, there were always teachers that cared a lot. There were some that didn't care at all, but there were a lot that did really care. There were always ones who inspired and had just the knack for teaching that I just loved. And I'm a sponge for information because I always wanted to, like my mom, I always wanted to get out of the situation that I was in and better myself so I could help more people. And so it's really close to my heart for that and so many more reasons. But I think that it just, God put it on my heart, and, I was birthed a child of service and love. And so I just, whenever I have enough, I'm going to give the rest, as much as I can, if that's my time, energy, talent, whatever it is.
That's amazing. So I'm going to just change this up a little bit, and I'm going to see if it will let me show the presentation, since again, for those of you that are just joining, oh, that's interesting. Let's see if we can show the auction items. Can you see the auction items now on the screen?
I can see a studio benefits of live streaming picture, but I cannot see
that then. Let's go back. Oh, that's interesting. So this is a learning experience for us, and I'm not so sure I'll use this platform. We'll try a different one next time. And now you're in the opposite screen. Let's go back to, there we go.
I'm still
back
here.
There. Yeah. So what I'd love to do is, we can't actually see the products. We were supposed to be able to see that, but I know that you're actually wearing some of the products in the auction. So I'd love for all of you to see the link. If you didn't see that, there's a comment where it says host. That's actually the link to the Boundless Foundation auction. And all of the items that we have are donated from gifting brands, our nonprofit, but they were donated from brands, big brands like Talbot's and Loft and Baccarat and Signet Corp, Rocksbox. So with Rocksbox, they donated Kendra Scott and a lot of other brands. So I know Shannon's wearing some of them, so she wanted to kind of show off. Actually, you have to kind of come up, your name overlooks that. So that's,
let me see.
That's one of the Christy Jean items, and you can wear it 5 different ways. There's actually another chain that goes with it, an actual beaded chain, so you can wear it doubled, you can wear it short, you can actually wear that as a bracelet as well. So the way that we've done some of these is there are things like 6-piece mystery box, where you're going to get 6 pieces of jewelry from a variety of different brands, whether it's Kendra Scott or Ann Taylor Loft, so many different brands that we have. Then there's also Baccarat, and we're really excited about Baccarat. They, as I mentioned earlier, they've donated over $1 million of jewelry. We've got some amazing items from them. That is actually a $1,200 item. It's sterling silver and it's blown crystal, made in France. That one's called the Papillion Butterfly. That is.
Jeannie,
Go ahead.
I want so badly to tell you why this means so much to me. This particular piece is actually our logo. And the blue butterfly represented my stepfather, David, who passed away a couple of years ago, had a butterfly garden. And he always talked about how beautiful they were and how transformative their lives were. They started off on the ground and that they flew. When they turned into this beautiful, transformed, beautiful being, they would fly away once they learned enough. And so that inspiration came to me. And that's why we started the logo that we have is the butterfly for transformative experiences. And this piece embodies that so beautifully.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. We also have some $1,200 18 karat gold rings that they donated to us that are part of the auction as well. This one also is one of the auction items that you can get in the mystery box. The great news is that if you are a winner, you can choose your size. So we'll make sure that you get the size that you need, even though we may have shown just one size on the auction. And many of you know me, so you can just email me if you need to, or send me a little text, happy to. But we've just got some amazing items and I would love for you to go to the auction. The auction is live until Sunday. So we'll go ahead and post that. Actually, this earring is one of my favorites. It's one of my designs from my Christy Jean line, but it also comes with a $50 gift card to Cabana Life, which is another one of our brands. They're a clothing brand that makes sunscreen protective apparel, swimwear, dresses, and so on. And in fact, I just had skin cancer removed off my arm yesterday. So it's a great company. And of course, I shop there because I need sun protection. But we are just so thankful for all the brands that have donated and for all of you who are watching. Please, think about going to the website or going to the auction site. When you purchase, all of the profits go to Boundless Foundation. Shannon's doing an amazing job. And Shannon, I know there are a few things that you still would love to say. So before we close out, what parting words do you have for everyone? And again, in the show notes, I will post everything. So don't worry if you didn't get it. I will make sure it's there on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and so on. So thank you all for joining. If you have any questions also before Shannon closes out, please type them in the chat.
Yeah, we would love to answer any questions. And if you would like to stay on also to see any more of the pieces, we'd be happy to show you those too. So I would just really like to say that, Boundless Foundation, one of the things that we feel very proud of is that we know that this does not just take us and that we're a very small team. We're a board of 3 and we have a couple of volunteers, but for the most part, we're pulling all of this off because we have beautiful partnerships. And that goes all the way from being in country, a liaison organization in between that with us, and then liaisons and then donors. But also donors come straight to us. And we really are looking to partner with corporations that want to make a difference. And maybe they're not sure how, or they want to really pivot their employees into a motion or a movement to do something really grand together to bring that bond together. So those are all experiences that we actually offer and provide as well. And the really beautiful thing is that we are just now getting started. And so even though we have a proven model and we've done it 10 times and we're getting more efficient and better, it is so beautiful to be able to bring in more collaborations and more people to do this beautiful mission of ending generational cycles of poverty through education and through basic needs support. And so anything that you want to contribute, to be a part of, we would love to have you. And really, you're getting a hands-on experience with us, the small team. We really do admire connection over everything else. And so we even stay connected to the schools. And so we're constantly getting updates. We're checking on the children's progress. We're talking to the teachers. Like, we didn't just come in and build a school and leave. We're in it for life. And so if you want to be a part of a movement like that, we would love to partner with you in that way. And so if you're an individual and you want to contribute, we have ways to do it monthly. You can donate here at this auction. And what I love about this, Jeannie, is that you have brought together all of these brands that have a significant impact. And when you wear a piece of jewelry, like this is what's so incredible to me, you feel what's going on with that jewelry in your spirit and your soul. And so when you wear this item or gift this item to someone, they now have a memory of impact because there's a story that goes along with it. You're building schools, you're feeding children. And so you can feel good every time you put that on, knowing that you made a serious impact and ripple in the world that will be known forever for generations.
So interesting. That's why I named it Gifting Brands. When we were trying to think about what to name the organization, and it really is, it's all about community. It's about the brands who are donating the product. It's about the charities that we support and their missions to make an impact. And it's about the consumers or customers who want to shop with brands that give back. And so we're really thankful for, being able to do this. And I have so many wonderful volunteers that I'm so thankful for, and board members that have really, come in and donated. A lot of the board members are, from big retail companies, and a lot of my friends have volunteered. We do pop-ups, so we do all kinds of fun events, and it's just really been a fun way to help make a difference. And so the work that you're doing is amazing, and I'm so thankful that we met. We met through a podcast that I was involved in. And, once I got to get to know you, and of course you love jewelry, it just warmed my heart. It's interesting because this new platform and this new show, we're starting a podcast next week. I just this morning interviewed big brands and small brands. So this morning I interviewed the CEO of Forever 21, Winnie Park, and Boys and Girls Club of America, which is a huge organization making a huge impact. But we also have organizations like yours that we're helping. And it's so exciting to see that one-on-one and to be able to give the nonprofits a platform to talk and tell their story and the impact that you're doing. And my hope is that, when people watch, they make better connections about where they want to give their money, or where they want to spend their time and volunteer, or whether they just want to shop with brands that give back. So that's really what our purpose is and our mission at Gifting Brands. And I just think this is such an amazing way that we all can work together. And it's so much fun. I mean, you've got so many people, and my friends, my, prior colleagues and in the retail industry, they are so excited about having a platform to give back. Many organizations have excess inventory. That was part of my role, was managing excess inventory. In fact, the reason I came up with the idea was when I was an executive at Zales, we got bought out and there was $1 million of excess jewelry, and I was trying to find charities I could donate it to. And charities didn't need jewelry. And so that's where I came up with the idea to be able to create an organization where we can take that inventory, turn it into revenue, and give it all back to charity. So I'm thrilled with the work that you're doing and that we can help you.
Thank you, Jeannie. We really appreciate it. And it's, we are such a small organization that every dollar matters to us. And so to be gifted something like this that would be fun and exciting was actually just a big pleasure to be a part of. I learned so much through this online streaming and through holding an online auction. And so I did want to bring that up as well, that if it's the first time for you and you've never participated in an online auction, we're here for those questions too, to walk you through how that works, because it was new to me, and I'm sure that not everyone has participated in an auction like that. And so if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat here or reach out to us individually. You can find me on Instagram at Boundless Foundation. And Jeannie, do you want to tell where they can find you in case they're coming new to the chat now?
We're at giftingbrands.com. And anytime you search Gifting Brands, you pretty much will find us. And Sabrina, I love your comment. This is right up my brand's alley. We'll definitely connect with you after. So I'm going to hold you to that. I can't wait to chat with you about this.
So beautiful. And I really want to say thank you again, Jeannie. I'm just so full of gratitude. One thing that I love that you're doing is that you're giving a platform to founders. We really don't look up. You know, we're so grassroots that we're really trying to just dive in and make an impact. And sometimes we forget that we can look up and ask for help, or that we have a story to tell and the stories to share. And it's so important, especially for those people who can't travel to the country, who do want to, or who want to be a bigger part. The stories really matter. And so it's opportunities like this that you're gifting along with all of the brands, that you're giving a platform for us to be able to use our voice and to share this joy that is coming from these places that are so grateful and thankful. And just seeing it in a newsletter or seeing it, you know, in an email doesn't really quite get it. So having the vivid exploration through somebody's language and excitement, like coming from the person who was there, is super important. And so I just want to say thank you for figuring all this out and being able to host this, because it's an extraordinary adventure. Yeah. And I think that most founders would adore being here.
Well, you're welcome. It's been a labor of love. And, you know, I was in retail for many years and I didn't have time to volunteer. I didn't have time to research organizations and nonprofits. And you want to make sure that when you're giving back to those that are really making a difference. And so that's why we're doing this platform. So not only for brands, because brands can't go out and tout themselves that, hey, I'm giving back to this charity, because it doesn't feel authentic. And in this platform, we'll be able to bring brands and charities together to talk about what they're doing together as partners. And it's so important. And you said this earlier, we can't change the world by ourselves. We have to do it together. We have to partner. We need businesses and organizations and, consumers to do this together. So I love what you're doing. And I, appreciate the tireless work that you're doing. And with that, I think we'll open it up to questions, and we'll wait a couple minutes. If you want, you can show some of your amazing jewelry. I'm going to show something very quickly here that I don't know if I sent you. I don't know if you can see these. These are lab created diamond studs that were donated from Signet Corporation. So those are in the auction. Oh, you are wearing them. Awesome. You're wearing them with our number one seller from Christy Jean Jewelry as well. And, we've got some amazing Baccarat rings, necklaces. I'm wearing one of the necklaces as well. So we have some, really amazing things. And you really have to see it when you go to the auction site. Please share it with your friends, forward the link. And, that's the Kendra Scott bracelet set.
So, I love these. So these can be separately or together, and they're expandable. So I really love that about them. And I've had them on today with 2 different outfits. So like they go with everything, and they're just so dainty, but they're made so delicious.
Well, and it comes in gold and silver. So you can bid on both of those, or either or. So again, I want to say thank you. And it looks like we don't have any other questions. Let me just look real quick here. Nope, it looks like we're good. So thank you all for joining. We appreciate you. If you have any questions about the auction, feel free to message me in whichever channel that you use, or message Shannon if you have any questions about Boundless Foundation. If you are looking for Boundless Foundation on Google, it's under Our Boundless Foundation. So you'll get to the right one. I think someone posted, I think Kim, you said it went to a Ukraine fundraiser. I think that might be the one that is not yours. So it is Our Boundless Foundation. So thank you. And hopefully we'll see you on our next show. Take care, everyone. God bless.
Thank you, everyone.